Hey guys, my name is Aldas, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Lewis Hamilton and whether or not he can match Michael Schumacher and reach the magic 7 world titles. Now don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, then subscribe, like the video, all of that good stuff, and yeah, let's get into it. So obviously this past weekend, while it was Max Verstappen to be victorious at the Mexican Grand Prix, it was Lewis Hamilton that won the war in the end. He is the 2018 world champion and has got up to 5 world titles. An incredible achievement, history being made, the most successful British driver in Formula One ever, and one of the most successful in Formula One history. Definitely has to be in the list of all-time greats, if not the greatest. Of course, that can be debated, and we'll never know because it's so hard to compare generations of drivers: Fangio, Schumacher, and Lewis Hamilton. You know, that's three completely different generations in my opinion, but he is without doubt one of the best in Formula One ever. Now, after the 2018 season, we know that there is 2 years left until the big rule changes in 2021. Now, whether or not Hamilton would be racing past then, we still don't know, and I'm sure he'll keep us guessing probably right up until the end of the 2020 season. We know, however, that he is signed for 2 years with Mercedes, which obviously takes him up to 2021, and that means that he can match, theoretically, Schumacher's record of 7 world titles, and something that I quite honestly did not think would ever happen. It's just an incredible record that he set, you know, with 91 race wins and 7 world titles. It almost looked unbeatable when he set it. Like, who could actually beat that? But Lewis Hamilton has come in. He is 20 wins away. I think he's on 71 with Schumacher's 91, and obviously 2 titles behind as well. Now, in terms of how he can win the next 2 titles in the next 2 years, he has a lot of stuff in his advantage. I don't think he's even hit his peak yet. We have seen him improve season on season. And I've said this before, and I've made a video about it as well. This has been Hamilton's most faultless season ever. In terms of making mistakes, this has been an incredible season for him. In my opinion, he's only made one real mistake, except from if you think about weekends where he has been off pace, and there have been those weekends. I mean, Mexico, China as well, and Canada. Those are weekends where he has been off pace, and you can sort of forgive him that. You know, there's no driver that is going to have a perfect weekend every single race. But in terms of mistakes, he's only made one this season, and that was Germany in qualifying, where he did damage his car, something with the hydraulics, and had to start from the back, purely his fault. In terms of wheel-to-wheel combat, if you look at the difference between Sebastian Vettel, who seems to be coming off worse in every single sort of racing incident that he's come to, Lewis Hamilton is the complete opposite. His racecraft this season has been perfect, and he's been faultless there, and he's been able to deliver results, most importantly, on weekends where he does not look like he's going to win. And that has been something that it's really impressed me this season, especially being able to turn it up when everything looks down, and being able to deliver when you weren't supposed to deliver. Now, something else that is massive in his armory is Mercedes, and the team he has built around him, I think, is stunning. It is honestly, the camaraderie that they have is incredible, and the way they develop the car. And actually, what really impresses me is that when you talk about Vettel and the incidents that he's had, he always wants to move on from them. He wants to move on from the bad weekends and just forget about them. When you hear Lewis Hamilton talk, he's always thinking about, I'm going to come back to the factory on Monday, I'm going to analyze it with my team, we're going to find out what's wrong, and we're going to make sure that does not happen again. That is massively impressive, the way he's able to analyze weekends with his team, develop the car throughout the season, because Ferrari have put out a fantastic car this year, and it's been an incredible development race between Mercedes and Ferrari. But Hamilton and Mercedes' ability to put out a fantastic car, analyze their weekends, does nothing but good for them in the next 2 years, and I thoroughly think that they're going to continue this sort of trend in the next 2 years as well. And then, of course, you've got Mercedes themselves and their ability to put out a championship winning car, and at the very least a championship contender every single season in the turbo hybrid era. And you've got to say, for the next 2 years, they're probably going to put out a championship contender at the very least that will be able to win championships. And with Lewis Hamilton there, it's going to be hard to argue for them to win both for the next 2 years. So I think Mercedes are doing a fantastic job of delivering a car, and more importantly, developing it throughout the year to stay maybe not ahead of the competition, but definitely within range, and giving Hamilton the ability to win the races that he has. Now, of course, lastly, what I think is another massive thing in Hamilton's armory is his teammate. Now, let's be honest, Valtteri Bottas, he has not been challenging Lewis Hamilton at all, and Lewis has Valtteri in his pocket. There's been very few weekends where Valtteri has looked like he's had the pace over Lewis Hamilton. That's just a fact. And yes, there have been team orders, and yes, there have been, controversy throughout the season, not just in Russia, but further back as well. And Valtteri has had bad luck, but at the end of the day, Valtteri is nowhere near where Nico Rosberg was in terms of challenging Hamilton. And Lewis obviously feels so comfortable there with Valtteri there because he knows he's got him in his pocket and he can just unleash that couple of tenths, especially in qualifying, and just put Valtteri behind him. So that is, again, something that is massive in Lewis Hamilton's armoury and just giving him more confidence because he knows that he's got a fantastic team behind him who he can develop the car with for the next 2 years, and he knows that he can win, and he knows that he can beat now Sebastian Vettel in a fair fight, in a fair car. Let's be honest, the Ferrari and Mercedes have been so close. Lewis just has this confidence. He's got an incredible team behind him. He knows that he can beat his competitors, and he knows that he can beat his teammate in both the qualifying and the race. So it's very hard to argue against Lewis Hamilton winning the championship in the next few years. On the current form that he's on, he is a qualifying juggernaut, and we've seen this season he's getting wins in weekends where he's not supposed to. So how do you stop him? It's going to be very, very difficult, but I'm going to talk about now why I think it's going to be a lot more harder than Hamilton might think in the next 2 years. Now, put it simply, Hamilton has been very comfortable in the past couple of years against Vettel. He knows Vettel, he is a very known quantity, and in some ways he knows Ferrari and he knows how good they are. In the next couple of years, with the driver changes that we have, it is going to be a completely different game. It is going to be a completely different challenge for Lewis Hamilton. Now, firstly, we have Charles Leclerc in that Ferrari signed up for 2019, and this is a massive, massive move. I've already made a video about how I think he can unsettle Vettel, and I quite honestly think that he is quick enough to win races and win championships in his first season at Ferrari. Definitely keep a lookout for him. Many people are thinking that it might take him a couple of races to sort of get to the rhythm of Ferrari, but his motivation to win championships and his speed, just full stop, it definitely reminds me of Hamilton in the start of his career, and the way he came into McLaren and was not scared. It did not take him a couple of races to get used to that car. He was on podiums and winning races straight away. It took him a little bit longer to win races, but he was getting podiums and he was leading the championship after I think like the second round in his rookie season. And I'm just saying, look out for Charles to do exactly the same thing. And in that Ferrari, he is a future world champion for sure. And he's just going to keep getting better and better. And we know this already. Maybe he doesn't have the experience, but he is going to give Lewis Hamilton a run for his money. Charles is very quick in qualifying. We've already seen that in his Sauber days. And what he's going to be able to do in that Ferrari, well, we don't know. But trust me, he is going to impress for sure and going to give Hamilton a big headache in the next 2 years. Now, in terms of the Red Bulls, in the next 2 years, we have absolutely no clue what they're going to be like because we do not know what this Honda Red Bull sort of project will produce in 2019. I don't think it will be the quickest package on the field, but I do not expect Red Bull to fall back. I think their chassis, as we've seen in Mexico, is just too good to fall back on the field. And Honda have definitely improved their engine in the past couple of years for sure. So I expect them to put out a good package. In terms of their drivers, firstly, Pierre Gasly. I think he's a bit of a dark horse and will definitely be a very, very good driver. Whether he'll be as good as Daniel Ricciardo, we'll have to wait and see. But I do rate him very, very highly. But the driver I want to talk about is Max Verstappen. Now, we know how quick this kid is. We can bet our bottom dollar that he is going to be a future world champion because he is so quick. And I think what's been so impressive, and my criticism of Max Verstappen in the past couple of years, is that I don't think he's experienced enough for a season-long championship battle, and to be able to carry out a campaign the entire season through with as little mistakes as possible, which is what you need. But I think this season, seeing him grow from the start of the season where he had so many incidents to the end of the season now where he's just winning incredible races and being so consistent from the back. I mean, getting podiums and getting second places from the very back. It's incredible to see his sort of development, and he's only going to get better, which must be terrifying for the rest of the grid. And I think he's going to cause Lewis Hamilton a lot more of a headache in the upcoming years. That is for sure. But yeah, guys, that is just what I think. And I do think it's going to be such a good couple of seasons that we've got coming up. Can Lewis Hamilton match Michael Schumacher and get those last 2 world titles to match 7? I don't know. He has got some serious competition. Sebastian Vettel is going to want to get one back on Lewis Hamilton. And we've got all these young kids in quick cars that are seriously going to give those 2 old guys a run for their money. Don't forget to drop a comment in the box below and let me know, who do you think will win the next two Formula 1 World Championships before the big rule changes in 2021. That'll be massively, massively appreciated. I really want to know what you guys think. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe as well. Like I said, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully we'll get there very, very soon. So thank you very much for watching and have a nice day. Bye.